How's it going, everybody? I am Marcus Draper. I currently teach at Timpanogos High School. I've been teaching Latinos in Action for now 7 years, and I think it's just so much fun. It's the best job on the planet. I also teach Spanish here as well. But I've been asked to present a little bit on how we do fundraising here at our school with our program. I'm really excited because I feel like our kids and our group have come up with some really unique ideas that are really lucrative as far as raising money. Not just lucrative, but they're constant. We consistently bring in money. And so to start us off with, I want to explain a little bit about how we've structured it here as far as our group. I think that'll help. It'll explain why we do what we do and how we do it. So at the very beginning, we're going to talk about cabinets, okay? So we have our presidency, and I consider that a cabinet. There are 4 students within our presidency. You've got a president, 2 vice presidents, and a secretary. And then the traditional cabinets for LIA are social service and professionalism. And I think that's great. I think what we decided to do is we created a fundraising cabinet as well. And I think having students dedicated to always looking for opportunities to bring in money to the program is extremely important because, I mean, I think everybody has the same, concerns. People want to be able to get supplies for service projects, be able to host dances, get kids the nicest bling, the nicest stuff that that they can get. And having a fundraising cabinet really allows you to do it because you have, in essence, I guess, 10 kids that are just going around looking for opportunities to get money. Okay, so the way that it works currently in our group is our president currently works with our fundraising president and our vice president as they look for. We'll get into that. I don't want to go. They just work together as a team, and we've come up with a couple of different ideas to make money. So there's our setup. You've got these guys. Our VPs are also assigned. So our president works with our fundraising group. 1 vice president works with the social group. 1 vice president works with the service group, and our secretary works with our professionalism group. So 1 person from our presidency is assigned to each cabinet, and they all come together. It's awesome. The collaborative efforts that go into getting things done is just amazing. So now that we've got this all down, I'm going to talk about a couple of things that our kids have come up with and I've come up with to make money. We'll start with probably the least lucrative and work our way up to the most lucrative as far as raising money goes. So the first thing that we decided to do that would consistently and constantly bring in money, we call them blitzes. We go out on blitzes to our local restaurants and local businesses and companies, and we have created a presentation that the students actually give. The fundraising cabinet gives to these companies. They explain what we do. They've got 2. They've got a PowerPoint, and then for a short time or just as they go into restaurants, they've actually got like a little trifold thing that they present what we do in LIA to them, and what we will do with their money. And after they've presented, they ask them if they're willing to donate, give back to their community, and we do get a few donations that way. I think it's awesome because the kids dress up, they go, and it's very professional. It gives them a chance to see what it's like in the real world. So we go on blitzes, and we've gotten donations from a number of different companies, and that's great. Most of the time, though, what ends up happening is they don't necessarily want to make donations. They want something out of the relationship, which I think is great. So what we decided to do as a group was make commercials. So this idea came up I'm a very athletically oriented person. I played baseball, football, and basketball in high school, and those teams, those sports have banners. They usually use banners, and if you go to any football game, you see banners all the way around the football field. If you go to a baseball game, they're all the way around the fences around the baseball field. Or if you go to a basketball game, they're in the gym. They're all around the court. And so what we wanted to do was, okay, let's do our own version of banners. We don't have a field to put banners up on. However, most high school campuses have TVs throughout the whole school. So here at Timpanogos, we have a few TVs in the main office. There's a big commons area where all the students like to hang out that have a few TVs. The cafeteria has a few TVs. And there's just TVs all the way around the school. And so what we decided to do was create different types of commercials that we could offer to these companies where we could promote their business/restaurant to the school to see if we could get them additional customers. It usually works really well with the restaurants. So, for example, we've done this with Beto's, with Chick-fil-A, Pizza Pie Cafe, and Wendy's, and Zupa's. And we continue to do this. It's kind of a reoccurring thing that happens every year, which is awesome. So there's 3 different types of commercials. We've got a silver, a gold, and a platinum. And basically, I mean, silver's the most basic, platinum's the most, the biggest one, the best one. And basically, it's not too difficult to understand. Silver, you get your commercial on a few TVs for a semester. The gold is you get your commercial on all of the TVs for a semester. And then the platinum is you get your commercial on all of the TVs year round. And I got all of that information. If you guys want to get a hold of me, I'll make sure that you get my email, and I can show you our little paperwork that we have them fill out and that we fill out to set up this business agreement. But if you get 3 or 4 of them, our most expensive package, or whatever you want to call it, is $400. If you do 3 or 4 of those a year, then you could possibly be bringing in over $1,000 doing that. Usually we bring in just shy of it. We usually bring in 800 or so doing these. But yeah, so commercials, a great way to do what a banner does for the sports around here. You could use the TVs and use the technology that's already available at the school. The next thing is I'm just going to put for restaurants. One thing that we've done that has been rather successful, we go to these same restaurants. If they don't want the commercial, they don't want to do donations, they don't want to do a commercial, then maybe what they'd be willing to do is us promote their business or restaurant, and then we would plan a day, and we get a percentage of all of their sales during a certain time period on that day. So our most recent one we did at Chick-fil-A, the Chick-fil-A on, it's in Orem on Center Street and State Street. And they allowed us to make our presentations and posters and everything to explain what LIA is and stand at the drive-thru, and we could tell everybody that was going through the drive-thru about LIA, and all they had to do was say, we want to support that LIA group, and we got 25% of all of those sales from, I think it was 3 p.m. to close to 10:30. So we ended up walking away with about $400 that day. It was just shy of 400. But we do a lot of those. That's probably our most consistent one, because not a ton of effort and not a ton of manpower needs to go into making those happen. And so we did, I think, 4 or 5 this past year, and brought in about $1,000 doing. No, it was a little bit more. It was about $1,200 doing those. So again, that's a pretty lucrative one, and not a lot of work needs to go into it. Most companies have the paperwork for you when you go. Zupa's had it for us. Wendy's had it for us. Pizza Pie Cafe had it for us. You just you fill out a little bit of paperwork, and then they send you a check right to your school, and it gets deposited right into your budget, which is awesome. And then the last one, universities. So our most lucrative one only happens once or twice a year, and I love this. I know a couple of other LIA classes and schools do this. We have reached out to the culinary arts departments at both BYU and UVU, and they usually have events that they need help with regards to waiting tables and busing tables. And so, for example, we went to, it was the last couple of years we've gone to BYU games, and before each game they have like all of the donors go and they have this big dinner right before the football game. And so our kids go and they wait the tables and they do that for the first half of the game. Then they actually get to go and stay at the game. And BYU pays about $25 a kid that goes, and they allow you to bring family members if you want to bring more. And so from BYU, we made in one day at a football game, we made about $800 with the few kids that we sent. A few kids, I mean, they brought their family members and whatnot. And then UVU, we were able to do that. We went and waited tables at the presidential ball that they had, and they actually paid a little bit more, and we ended up getting $2,700 for that. So I know this is it can seem a little daunting, but all of the universities hold events at their schools. So if you're in northern Utah, I know Utah State does it. I know Weber State does it. If you guys are down by Salt Lake, I know the U does it. Slick does it. And then as you go down, and all of the universities do this. So don't be afraid to reach out, because in all honesty, what's the worst that they can do? They can tell you no, and that's it. You just move on to the next thing. But so reach out to the universities and see how you can help them. And they've done a really great job with us. I've really enjoyed working with them. So those are, that's the basics. Those are the little things that we've got. So again, we went on blitzes. We made our own version of banners, which were commercials. We went and talked to restaurants to see if we could get a percentage of their sales. And then, of course, we promote them. And then we also went to the universities to see how we could help them at their events. So my email address is Marcus Draper at Alpine .org. Sorry, that was awkward. But so my email address again. Sorry for my teacher handwriting. I feel like you guys should. There we go. Understand. Marcus Draper at alpinedistrict.org. Feel free to email me whenever, or we can set up a Zoom meeting, a Skype call, Hangouts, however you want to do it. And I would love to go through any of this with all of you. Thanks so much for your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.